All right, welcome to a long time ago top 10 TVC Most Wanted. We've done 6 of these episodes now, covering the prequels and the original trilogy. And it's time to crack on now with Rogue One and find out Martin's top 10 picks for that. Now, the one rule is that you can't pick one that has already been produced in TVC. You should all know that by now. There are only 15 Rogue One card backs in the vintage collection, Martin, so quite a lot of characters still out there. How was it picking this list?
This was one of my favourites so far. I love Rogue One. It's
Who
my
doesn't?
favourite of the exactly. It's my favourite of the Disney era films.
Mm,
And there's so many great characters to choose from. I'm sure I probably missed some people's favourites, but these were the 10 that I've chosen, I think, and I'd love to see them on a vintage card.
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just looking at your list now. It's a good list. And like you say, there's so many missing. How can there only be 15 cards? It's unreal.
Yeah.
Um, let's move swiftly on then. Let's get into it. Number 10, Martin, for Rogue One.
Okay, number 10. Now I've got to make sure I read this out properly. It's 4D6JA7. Now
Okay.
everyone's going, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, I would have picked him." But that's it for those small amount of people that don't know who that is. That's the black Death Star droid type droid from the Imperial base on Scarif. That you see him wandering around. He's basically jet black, but he's a Death Star droid, and he's
Yeah.
an intelligence and security droid for the Empire. I thought he looked amazing in black. He looks absolutely incredible, and I must admit I've been quite lapsed so far in the 6 episodes that we've done with my droid picks. So I thought I'd throw a few droids in now,
Yeah.
and where better to start than here because he's a great looking droid.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. It's cool looking character, that one. But number 9.
Okay, number 9. Now, I think you'll be happy with this one, Adam. Number 9 is R3S1. Now, he's an R3 droid that you see on the Rebel base in Yavin. Now, he's clear domed and he's slightly orange on his dome as well.
Yeah, very
And
cool.
he's very cool. I haven't seen many clear domed droids in Star Wars and in the actual live action side of
Yeah.
things. And I must admit, this one looked really, really cool. So I haven't had many. I don't think I've even picked an astromech yet. So
No, I
this will
don't
be my
think so.
first astromech.
Yeah,
So yeah, number 9, R3S1.
cool. Number 8 then?
Okay, number 8. Now I know I chose her in the previous episode, but this is the younger version. This is Mon Mothma from Rogue One. Obviously, let's be honest, Hasbro, all they'd have to do is take the head off of the one that I mentioned in the last episode for Return of the Jedi and then put a younger face or head sculpt on this figure to make it the same figure. But again, I'd love to see her on a Rogue One card as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mon Mothma, number 8.
Come on, Hasbro, we're doing your job for you. It's, making you money here. Number 7 then.
Okay, number 7 is the character Sylvani Fest. Now, that is the character that's in the red outfit with sort of the robotic mask down on Jeddah. And he's the leader of the Disciples of the Wills. And you see several of them walking around when
Right.
Jin and Cassian are walking around the city. I don't know too much about what they actually do on Jeddah, but being Disciples of the Wills, obviously it's to do with the Force and to do with what Baze Malbus, and all, that crew, they all do, protecting the Kyber crystals, I should imagine. But the character looks absolutely incredible, really, really
Mm,
tall, but it's got this amazing sort of dark red cloak with this with the mask over. I really like the character or the look of the character or the alien. So yeah, I'd love to see this on a vintage card. So number 7, Sylvani Fest.
yeah, interesting pick that. Not one that I would remember off the top of my head, but yeah. Number 6 then.
Okay, number 6, I've gone for Galen Erso. Kind of scandalous that we haven't had a vintage collection Galen Erso
I
yet.
know. Yeah.
It was difficult to choose which outfit I wanted him in as a figure and a card back, but I've gone for when he's on the research base on Iadu or Adu or however you pronounce it, I don't know. yeah, he is sort of his white sort of officers or sort of
Hmm.
scientist outfit. Yeah, I'd really like to see Galen Erso on a vintage collection figure, and so yeah, number 6, Galen Erso.
Yeah, like you say, it's almost scandalous that they haven't made a Galen Erso yet. He's such an
Mm,
important character
yeah,
in Star Wars in general
mm,
now, not just Rogue One. But
yeah, yeah,
hey,
definitely.
that's your first 5 picks then done. Hopefully you agree with those at home. Let us know in the comments what your top choice would be. Now let's crack on with your top 5. Number 5.
Okay, number 5, I've gone for benthic 2 tubes. And I know I'm not alone with this because I've been obviously taking a keen eye on March Madness and all of the picks that everybody's been making, and everyone's been putting them on Instagram, and people have done YouTube videos about their top 25 picks, and 2 tubes seems to show up on pretty much most
Yeah.
people's lists, and I think it has done for years now. So I think, I agree with all of them. I think he's a great looking character. He does actually have a brother in the show that it looks very
Yeah.
similar to him. But I'm going to stick with everybody else and say 2 tubes is the pick for me. So yeah, number 5, benthic 2 tubes.
Yeah. That's a great pick. And I've seen that a lot of people are interested in that one. Okay, number 4 then.
Okay, number 4, another scandalous oversight in my eyes, and it's Saw Gerrera. I mean, again, what a pivotal character, and I mean, it was difficult because he's appeared in quite a lot of Star Wars media now, but I think his most iconic appearance has to be Rogue One, and
Mm.
I've gone for the what he was, the look that he has when they meet him in his base at the end, where he's like really
Yeah.
disheveled. He's got the robotic leg.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Saw Gerrera is, I mean, I can pick him for other media because he'll actually have a leg in that one, but
Yeah.
in this one I've gone for the breathing tube and the false leg, and the
Yeah.
armor that he's got to help him breathe. So yeah, I mean, what a great character, and what a great figure this would be, because the detail you could put on all the little dials
Yeah.
and everything he's got on his outfit, it would be absolutely great. So yeah, number 4, Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, real interesting look to him, isn't it? Considering he's not
Yeah,
an alien. Some of the aliens are great, but the humanoid characters generally are pretty sort of bland. But this
yeah,
guy's loaded with stuff. So yeah, great
yeah,
pick.
great.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, number 3, I've gone for everybody's second favorite Mon Calamari, Admiral Radis. Again, I love Admiral Radis. He's that typical, stereotypical Mon Calamari officer, just like Admiral Akbar, but he looks incredible, doesn't he?
Mm,
In this show, in this film,
yeah,
I love
cool.
his grey sort of look he has as well, alternate to the red that we usually see in Return of the Jedi. And yeah, he's got a lot to do, a lot to say. Big character in this, to be quite honest with you. He was in charge of the battle which got the plans to the Death Star, so
Yeah.
he's got to be made. He's got to be put on a vintage card. The card back will be amazing. Let's put it that way, because there's not a
Mm,
bad shot of him in the film.
true.
So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a Mon Calamari mold already in the vintage collection. It would have to be increased in size, maybe,
Slightly
but
larger. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
slightly larger. But yeah, no, I'd love to see this figure. I think it'd be amazing for not only loose collectors but card collectors as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's move on. Number 2.
Number 2, now, I've always been a fan, as many Star Wars fans are, of background characters that don't have a huge amount of dialogue or don't have a lot to do. And this character definitely falls into that category, and it's Sergeant Melshi. Now, Melshi is I think he's put in charge of the ground attack on Scarif when Jin and Cassian are heading off to get the plans. He's in charge of the all the troops on the ground, to try and distract the Empire and keep them away from Jin and
So,
Cassian. So, and he does have a few lines, but I really like his rebel look. Gritty, hard. He looks like he's been in the war, sort of thing. Typical
yeah.
rebel. I think he'd make a great figure. I love Admiral Piet from Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back for that reason as well. He doesn't have much to do and much to say, but he's like just a noticeable character, and I think the same with Melshi. So he wouldn't be everybody's number 2, I understand, but for me personally, I'd love to see him on a vintage card. So number 2, Sergeant Melshi.
Absolutely. Okay, then the big one. Here we go. What is your number 1 pick for Rogue One?
Okay. Well, we've had Chirrut Imwe, haven't we? And if you have Chirrut Imwe in the vintage collection, you must have Baze Malbus, as far as I'm concerned. He's a another great character. I mean, all we've said during this episode is great character, because all of them are really memorable characters. And he's no exception. Baze Malbus, again, he's got a great look to him. He's, like you said earlier about Saw Gerrera, he's not just in a plain uniform. He's got lots to him. He's got that awesome gun, that has sort of like a minigun type thing that has a barrel that leads to this wire that goes to his backpack. He'd be a great figure. It'd probably have to be a deluxe, but
I think
even
so,
still, I'd take it. I definitely would. I think he's a great character, and what a vintage card that would make. And again, for all speaking, I'm not a loose collector, but imagine for all the loose collectors out there, he's like a massive miss for their displays when they're doing their Rogue One displays. Not having him is a big miss. So yeah, number 1, and rightly so, I think Baze Malbus.
No, that's you look at this list and you could almost pick any of them, to be honest. There's so many good characters in Rogue One who haven't been made yet, and there's even more off of your list that haven't been made. So many cool looking background characters that could be put into this. So, I mean, for my pick, you'd probably expect me to go for R3S1, but I don't know. There's too many good ones. I think Saw Gerrera might be the pick for me. Very, very cool and much needed in the vintage collection. So but that's not all. We always go for a bonus vehicle as well. Which one have you gone for?
I've gone for the U-Wing. I mean, it's the first time we see the U-Wing. I think it's the only time we've seen it since. But I think it's a great. I thought it was a great idea for a vehicle. The fact that it was like a drop ship for troops. I thought that was great. We've only really seen that for the clones in the prequels and the Clone Wars. That's some sort of drop shuttle type craft. But it was really nice to see it for the Rebels. And I loved the scene where it's flying around Scarif and it's taking out troops and AT-ATs or AT-RTs or whatever they're called, and then when it gets a break in the battle, it literally lands and drops a load more troops out, so they can join the battle. I think it's a great vehicle, and you wouldn't have to make it to scale, obviously, but you need a couple of pilots maybe and enough room to put 4 troops in there. It'd be a great vehicle. So yeah, I think if I had to choose a vintage collection vehicle for Rogue One, it'd be the U-Wing.
Yeah, great choice. Absolutely brilliant. That's it then. Let us know if you agree with Martin's picks in the comments and give us your top pick as always. It's got to be one of those from Martin's list, surely. But who knows? Well, you've got to let us know in the comments. Whilst you're down there, make sure you hit like on the video. Up next, we're going to be covering another Star Wars story. It's Solo. So subscribe so you don't miss Martin's picks from there. We'll see you soon.
Bye.